Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelica and I have a confession to make. I am addicted to art supplies. Do you guys know about any support group? No, but to be serious, this year I have bought quite a lot of art supplies. So I feel sometimes like a crazy cat lady, but with art supplies instead of cats. But yeah, now it's time to show you what I have bought this year from January to the beginning of July. And the first things I want to show you are watercolor papers, because I have bought quite a lot of that and quite a big. Do you see that? This is 2 sheets, Arches cold pressed and Arches rough, and they are 56 by 76 centimeters, so quite big. But the other papers I have bought are a little bit smaller, so you'll see them in a close-up in just a second. So let's move on to them. So those big sheets that I just showed you are 640 GSM and 100% cotton. I forgot to mention that. But here you see the smaller papers that I have in pads and block, and all of these different papers are also 100% cotton but 300 GSM, which is my normal thickness for paper. So first here I have Sanders Waterford, which for me is a little bit of a new brand. I have tried their hot pressed out, a sheet of their hot pressed, and this is rough. And it looks like this, with quite a lot of texture. So this I will try out some more than just the swatches that you are seeing right now. And the second paper is an Arches rough, and I do really love Arches paper, but I usually use cold pressed and hot pressed, so I wanted to have a pad of rough also. So I don't know if you can see that, but quite a lot of texture, and I love this feeling of Arches paper. It feels, I don't really know how to explain it, but it feels very nice compared to the other ones. The other ones are also nice, but Arches will probably always be my favorite paper. And then I have Canson Heritage rough, and this, as also the Sanders Waterford, are glued to all 4 sides of the paper. And here you can see some swatching I have done on this, just to try it out. The thing I like with Canson is if you're doing wet on wet, the wet in wet technique with this paper, it stays wet quite a long time, or at least a little bit longer than the other paper brands that I have tried out. And the last paper I have bought is this huge, or I probably will not say huge compared to the sheets, but huge for a block of Arches cold pressed, and this is 31 by 41, so a little bit bigger than an A3 size. And I wanted to have this block if I wanted to sit outside and paint, because then I don't have to have a wooden board to tape my paper down on, because this is already glued and will not buckle. So that's all the papers that I have bought. So, and I should mention, this is A4 size. This is a little bit bigger than A4. This is 23 by 31 centimeters, and an A4 is 21 by 29.7 centimeters. And the Sanders Waterford is a little bit smaller, and it is 26 by 18 centimeters. So that's all the paper. So let's move on to some brushes that I have bought. I will move this aside. So I haven't bought so many brushes because I already have quite a lot. So a little bit close up of the brushes so you can see them better. I am quite happy with the brushes that I have, but I always like to try out something new. So here is a Winsor & Newton professional watercolor sable brush. It's a rigger that I have used. You might see that the tip of the brush isn't as fine as they usually are when you buy them. So that's that. And I have rolling brushes. This happens every time when I have brushes on the table. I move them aside for a moment. So I think this kind of brush is called a mop brush. It's a mix between squirrel and synthetic. And I got this in a store in Sweden, and the store's name is here, Artistica. And I have seen this kind of brush in another store here in Sweden, so I think that the store can buy them and have their names put down on the handle. So I like to have some bigger brushes if I'm going to paint on a large area, or just add a lot of water to a large area. So here I have two small brushes, and right now I don't know if I will have them for watercolors or gouache or acrylics. I like to buy small brushes when I buy other things, just to try out different brands of brushes. So here, this one is a Da Vinci Fit Synthetics, and this other one, the smallest one, is a Creator Studio. And the last two brushes are these two. They are by Isabey. I do believe that it's a French brand, but I'm not quite sure. And they have Petit Gris marked on them. And I do believe gris is the word for grey. Here in Sweden, gris means pig, so I'm not really sure. But those two are 100% squirrel. So that's what they look like. So here is all the brushes that I have bought this year. And when I have the close-up, let's take these things that really doesn't belong to another category, so I will show you all this now at the same time. So here I have a watercolor pencil, Albrecht Dürer by Faber-Castell, in the color black, because I always wanted to try this brand, so I bought the black just to see how they are. And another Faber-Castell, an eraser Perfection 7058B with a little brush on the end. And I like these types of eraser if you're going to erase small stuff. A graphite eraser, I should add, but you probably understand that. And here I have two small half pans, empty half pans. I always think they are good to have if I wanted to have to store some color sometimes. So this is by Schminka. And here I have a porcelain palette. As you can see, I have used it a bit and I really like it. It's not good for mixing colors, but to store the color when I paint. And I mix the colors on another palette or a regular porcelain plate. So let's move on to the inks. I don't use ink so much, but I like to have them and use them sometimes. Especially in October I tend to use them quite a bit. So here I have a Royal Talens drawing ink in white. I already have one, but that one is getting quite old and gross, so it was time for a new one. And here I have a free pack of Spectrum Noir Sparkle glitter ink. So I will take those up and show you. They are packaged quite well. So they look like this, and you have to shake them quite a bit to mix the glitter with the ink. And it's a type of small ball in the bottles, so that you can mix it better. So this will be fun to try out later. So pink and a blue. So I hope you can see a little bit of the colors anyway. I will read the color name for you. The blue is Moonstone. Then we have Cosmos and Rose Quartz. So I will try to use these ones and try them out in a video in the future. So that will be fun. So that's the inks. So from the shimmery inks, let's move on to some other shimmery stuff. I have here 3 different kinds of shimmers to add. This is Winsor & Newton iridescent medium that you either can put on top of watercolor or mix in with watercolor. And if you put it on top of watercolor, it looks a little bit like this. And hopefully you can see some of the shine of this. I have tested on most of my Daniel Smith and Schminka watercolors here. I'm not quite done with this, as you might can see, because this haven't got any shimmer of it on it. But I added about 2 strokes of the iridescent medium here, so that's what that looks like when you use it. And here in the middle I have Golden Acrylics Pearl Mica Flakes, and the flakes are in a, I don't really know how to say it, in a paste, I think you can say. And you add it on top of your acrylic paintings to get a little bit shimmery effect. And they have this with different colors on the mica and different size. I got my hands on one with small mica flakes. So this will be fun to try out, because I also want to do a little bit more acrylic paintings right now it's only watercolors that I'm using. And here we have Aqua Bronze by Schminka. It's a bronze pigment and this color is rich gold. And it's quite heavy actually, so I do believe it will last me for quite a while. And I believe you mix it with a little bit of water and add to your watercolor painting. So I will test this out in the future. So that's all the glittery, shimmery stuff. And here I have some tubes of Winsor Newton designer gouache, because I have decided that I wanted to do more work in gouache. At this point I have only made one painting in gouache, and I quite enjoy the medium, but for some reason I haven't done anything more. So here I have a big tube of permanent white, and this white I also use with my watercolors when I need to add some white to the painting. And then I bought a permanent rose, a burnt umber and a yellow ochre. So this will be quite exciting to try out whenever I am going to do that, but at some point in the future at least. So if you have seen other of my videos, or perhaps you already are subscribed to my channel, it will not come as a shock that the art supplies that I have bought most of this year is watercolors. So you might have seen another video where I unboxed this Schminka super granulation set of Fundra, and also this glacier green, galaxy pink and glacier turquoise, also super granulating colors. So I will leave a link in the description box below to that video. But as you can see, I have also bought some Daniel Smith watercolors and some Winsor Newton professional watercolors. So I will start with the Winsor Newton ones. I have quinacridone violet, smalt, Dumont's blue and Prussian blue. So these two color, quinacridone violet and smalt, I quite like, and I do believe they are a little bit of a limited edition. So I wanted to have large tube of each where I still can get my hands on them. So therefore I bought these two. And Prussian blue I am a little bit interested in, because I have heard that they are graded as light fast colors, but they do fade. And I have heard or read, I really can't remember, that they fade in the light but recover in dark. I don't know if that is true, so don't take my word for it, but I was quite interested of that and want to test it out for myself. So I will make a painting in only Prussian blue and test it out. So we will see if that is a true fact or just not true. So yeah, and then I have some Daniel Smith watercolors. I have Lunar Black, Lunar Blue, Moon Glow, and in that from blue, I do believe it's pronounced, Ultramarine Turquoise, Cobalt Violet, Rose of Ultramarine and Amethyst Genuine, that are actually made by real amethyst stones that are grinded to pigments and then mixed in to create watercolor. And some of these Daniel Smith colors I also have done some swatching of when I bought them. So here is Lunar Blue, Moon Glow, Cobalt Violet, Lunar Black, Indifferent Blue, Rose of Ultramarine and Ultramarine Turquoise. So you can see that right now I'm quite into granulating colors. And with some of this color I also made a painting earlier this year. I don't know if it was in February or March, and I am so bad at pronouncing the name of the months, and I am also bad at pronouncing the word month, so that's okay. So here you can see a painting that I did, 3 sheeps in the grass, and I discovered a little bit sad thing about cobalt violet when I scanned in this artwork, and it was that the cobalt violet really don't want to show up on the computer, and when printed on a card this kind of pink color was impossible to get, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that fact, so I don't know how much I will use cobalt violet in the future, but it is quite a nice color. So in this painting I used cobalt violet, lunar blue, lunar black, rose of ultramarine, and this grass here is cascade green, also a granulating color from Daniel Smith. And I might have used some other colors, but I really can't remember. So that is a fun thing you can do with some of these colors. So if you don't want to miss what I will be painting with some of this and some other of the art supplies that I have shown you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like this video if you liked it. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!